Oh, and this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome into 2 hours of domination on the Stadium Network. I am the coach. I navigate this ship, and I am pumped today. Last day of the NBA season before we get to the All-Star break. We got a ton to talk about over the course of the next 60 minutes. Now, before we even talk about the schedule, before we even talk about that, we've got to look back before we look forward. Not a horrible day. We were 3-3, and then, of course, I have the tournament plays. Pebble Beach starts today. I will have round one plays coming up shortly, and the tee times are starting very shortly, so you want to get those in. We've been doing pretty well early into the golf season. Now, I mentioned 2 hours of domination on the Stadium Network, Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It is the Coach and Bro Show. This show is growing so fast. We do need to give a shout-out to our man, Vince Russo. Will not be here. He's dealing with some family issues. You guys have been amazing with that. 2 o'clock Eastern today, Off the Ropes with your boy, SiriusXM Channel 156, Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. Now, as far as Coach and Bro is concerned, very excited because sitting in today is a man who's very opinionated. He's edgy, and I can't wait to have him. We had him on before, and he absolutely killed it. So JD from New York will be my co-host today at 11 a.m. Eastern Time right here on Stadium as we talk everything pro wrestling, a little WWE, a little AEW, maybe even a little TNA and JCW. All right, some news of the day. Finland ski jumping head coach Igor Melved. He gone over an alcohol-related issue. I've told you guys many times when I used to go to Afghanistan, can't have any alcohol. At the Olympics, can't have any alcohol. He did apologize to the fans, the team, and also the athletes. So he's gone. Heartbreaking story coming out of Iowa. A community college baseball team, their bus flipped yesterday, killing one and injuring everybody else on the bus. Several had to be life-flighted to a hospital in Des Moines, Iowa. So our prayers go out to that baseball team. Just an absolutely heartbreaking story coming out of Iowa. All right, the reason we do this show every single day, the reason that we get up and we have a lot of energy is to help you get your butts out of bed so you can get your day started, because every day's a blessing. Absolutely a blessing that we get to walk this green earth. So, without further ado, oh yeah, there they are. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 hours. Let's roll and beat the books. We call this the A team. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell Mikey P. All right, now. This man right next to me, say good morning. He's our numbers guy for a reason, Rafael Esparza. Good morning, Rafael.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, family. What a day. U.S. hockey finally hits the ice this afternoon, so we get to watch that. And then we have college basketball and 3 NBA games. It's a great Thursday.
It's great. I love the positivity. I absolutely love the positivity. Now, I got to go to the outside next. He is live from Memphis, Tennessee. DG, what's good?
Morning, Coach. Morning, boys. It is a beautiful Thursday, and we're right on the cusp of that illustrious slam dunk contest this weekend for the NBA. Coach, I know that you're just as excited as I am.
Do they still do that?
Jackson Hayes is the favorite. Jackson Hayes.
Oh, my God. So they didn't bring in the short white dude that's dominated the last 3 or 4 years? He's not doing it this year, right?
Nope.
Oh, man. All right. Now, before we get to our picks, gentlemen, we have a little bit of an issue. You guys know that I don't ever tell you what to do. I don't ever tell you what to say. That was a pretty cool rap song, too. But when I get sent a video in the middle of the night that one of my people that I mentor is out there running in these streets, we must address it here on the show. Producer man, if you don't mind, roll cut 1. And I got to figure out where this happened. So this appears to be, as I look, purple. Oh, it's a basketball court. And now sort of rushing the court, kind of not. Idiots. But yet, whoever's shooting this video is also an idiot. let's introduce our young student from TCU. Couldn't even hide the shirt today. Young Peyton, would you like to explain yourself?
Haven't taken off the shirt since our 12-0 run to end the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds against Iowa State. It was a heck of a game. Number 5 Iowa State, by the way. Huge win. I couldn't get up to Milan Momcilovic and talk a little you-know-what to him, but couldn't quite do that because Iowa State players were already off the floor. But I did what I could. I got down there as quickly as possible.
See, here's where you're completely missing what you should have done. You represent coaching company everywhere that you walk, everywhere that you go. You had a phone? You couldn't get a little interview right after the game?
Oh.
You could get a little sound from the team talking about, oh, man, we beat number 5. And, oh, by the way, when do we just start rushing the court, Peyton, for beating number 5? It's a number 1 thing. What are we doing?
When you're TCU, anybody who's ranked, it's definitely court rushing worthy.
That's true. DG, your thoughts on this travesty?
Even North Carolina rushed the court on Duke. What are we doing these days? It's stupid.
All right, gentlemen. Peyton, young Peyton. I take my eye off you for 1 second. All right. We had a winning day. Great day on Monday. Winning day on Tuesday. A 500 day yesterday, although I think I'm going to hit my 3 tournament picks. So let's call that a winning day. So here's what we're going to do. If we have a winning day today, then I'm going to bust out the Coach and Brolette wheel on tomorrow's show, and we'll give out a free piece of merch. Our new merch store almost done, so we got a lot of new items for people to choose from. So it's a lot of pressure.
I'm ready. I don't know if anybody else is.
I believe you are, if you could actually find the box to put your hand up in instead of having to move it over.
It's small.
Yeah. I know you've heard that a lot. All right, DG, my guy. Best bet. Start us off. Go.
Well, these bets are big. Let's go ahead and go with Portland State -7.5. It's at -110 here. They're 10-1 on the road this season against the spread. They're the best defense in the conference. They just beat this same Northern Arizona team at home by 11. Their defense, their rebounding is going to be the key factor to watching this game. Portland State by 8. Then let's go to Memphis, the Tigers. Staying in college basketball here on the money line at -115. They may have just figured something out here with Penny Hardaway and his team. Their defense looks so much better. They just beat this team by 9 just a month ago. I like them to win again on the money line. No points involved, -115.
It kind of feels like a gift when it's a rematch. The books don't always adjust. They win by 9. Is this game on the road? Is that why you think it's so low?
It is on the road, and honestly, Memphis has not played great this season, but they're playing great the last 2 games. Sincere Parker is playing really well for Memphis right now.
Okay, keep that in mind. Maybe a prop if your book has him for him. Who knows? Raphael, I know you were 0-2 yesterday, and I went and looked at the score, and it kind of sucks when one team only scores 60 and you still lose an under, doesn't it? You're like, damn.
That was a rough game to watch last night.
Thank God I fell asleep. We had a little Wingstop last night. My daughter wanted Wingstop, so, oh, my goodness, it put me down like 8:15, 8:30, down. Peyton was just getting ready to go out at that point. All right, Raphael, my guy, I'm looking at what you got today, and I'm feeling it. Let's go.
I'm going to jump on that Memphis. Take the Memphis team total over. Their offense has been improving in the last 4 games, so look at that one as well. But we're going to the Portland State game against NIU, against the Lumberjacks. We're going to take the over 134.5. This is all on the Lumberjacks defense. It sucks. They're giving up 83 points per game in their last 6 games. Portland State, yes, they have a great defense, but they're going to have no issue scoring on the road in Flagstaff, Arizona. So I like this game to fly over 134. And keep an eye out for Vikings forward Terry Miller, who's been balling right now. I think he has a big game against the Lumberjacks.
Terry Miller been balling, Raphael says. All right, so far I see 1, 2, 3 check marks so far today. Can we get to 5? King Lettuce, you're up.
Whether you're betting on the Super Bowl plus an even or Charleston Cougars even, it's the same amount of money. So we're going with the Charleston Cougars today, -1.5 to win by 2 over Hofstra. These 2 teams already played a few weeks ago at Hofstra, and Charleston beat them. I really like Charleston at home. They're 9-3 in conference games as well. And hey, tickets are as low as $9, so you can go and even catch this game if you want to. Go Cougars, baby! All right, I'm going with the OKC Thunder minus 12.5. Everyone's going to say, Peyton, you can't land a 12.5 as a best bet. Of course I can, when it's the best team in the NBA in their own building against a team that's trying to lose in Milwaukee. The Bucks even won last night, which will make them tank this game without question. They can't afford to win back-to-back. This NBA draft class, way too talented. Thunder will dominate tonight at home, and this will be a complete blowout. I got the Thunder by 20, but I'll take the 12.5 as a best bet.
It's so obvious, Peyton, what these teams are doing. I mean, the other day, Utah just got, their head coach is like, screw it. I'm just going to admit it. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. All right. Gentlemen, I have 4 plays today, 3 round ones, and I encourage you, go to your sports book, get them in right now. If you don't have these exact matchups, I like all 3 of these guys in round 1. Now, this is about betting on a really hot player and then fading 2 others. So we start with Ben Griffin over Siwoo Kim. Now, Siwoo Kim had a great week last week in Phoenix, but Ben Griffin historically now gets off to really, really good starts. He shows up. He's motivated. So you're going to give me a little plus money. I will take it. Now, these next 2, I'm fading big time. Xander Schauffele, ever since he got hurt, ever since 2 years ago when he won 2 majors, he has not been very good. And he has this year not gotten off to a great start yet again. Robert McIntyre, he's from Europe. It's cold. It's dreary. It's nasty. Just like Pebble Beach in February. So give me Robert McIntyre over my man Xander Schauffele. And this last one, when are the books going to catch up with Colin Morikawa and the fact that DG, he what?
Sucks.
He sucks big time right now. It's hard to say about a 2-time major champion, but it's true. Hasn't won in a minute. And you got this other guy, Matthew Fitzpatrick, last week in Phoenix, round number 1. What did he do? He was 8 under through 16 holes. Did go bogey, but still shot a 6 under 65. And today I think he gets off to another really, really good start. And I do have a top 5 play, Justin Rose, plus 742. Think about this. Now, this is a signature event. 18 of the top 20 players are here. Rory McIlroy making his season debut. But Justin Rose, why are we sleeping on this guy? He's 45 years old, but playing like he's 25 years old. He won at the Farmers a few weeks ago, and I think he will be in the mix to win this entire thing. So give me a top 5 at plus 742. DG, if you had one golf course to play, like you had 1 round left, would it be Pebble Beach?
Well, Coach, a little fun story about this. My wife has played Pebble Beach. She's played golf 1 time in her life. It was Pebble Beach. And yes, that would be the course I'd love to play at.
Wow.
I'm pissed.
I played it once, and we had a 6 a.m., and the whole reason we got on, I always say this, you never know who's a fan. The lady who books the starting times was a 68-year-old, very nice woman. We called, told her my name. She goes, I love wrestling. I love the WWE. I kid all my kids. And so she gave us a 6 a.m. start time. Didn't even see the course till about hole 11 because of the fog. Played like crap, shot over 100. Not my best day. And your wife should not have 1 round under her belt, and it should not be Pebble Beach. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. I'd be talking trash to you all the time at home if I was her. All right, gentlemen, we still have a lot to get to. I feel like we're going to have a great day on our best bets. We're going to give away free merch tomorrow, but coming up on the other side, front page news. What's a former Steelers player saying about the legend Big Ben? You might not understand or even have paid attention to it. Then, effort in college and in pros. We're tackling that topic today. Just getting started. Coach and Company, live as always, right here on Stadium. All right, gentlemen, this story is kind of crazy. You work all of these years, 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, to make it to the Olympic Games. And then this happens. A Ukrainian skeleton athlete has said, I will not change my helmet. And DG, because of that, it was to honor 20 athletes, people that got hurt in a war in Russia, very serious for their culture. He says, I'm not changing. The Olympic Committee said, you ain't participating. All that work for not over a helmet.
Yeah, if you don't have a platform, honestly, what does your message really say? And so I appreciate him standing on business on this fact, but also find a way to do the celebration, to honor these people. There's ways around it. And I would assume that there would be some kind of, situation where he could. But unfortunately, this was a bad decision.
Bad. And Peyton, let me come over to you. I think sometimes people, like DG said, get caught up in what they think the message is and how impactful it's going to be, when it's really not, and then you just hurt yourself.
Even though it seems like it happens in the Olympics more often than other sports lately, it just seems like in anything, right? You work so hard for so long to get to these moments, and the Olympics is just the biggest of them all, especially these athletes who don't have the NBA or the MLB to go to, right? They train for the Olympics, and they're there, and then now, the coach is just gone and just throws it all away. So really unfortunate.
And from a betting perspective, Raphael, what are we supposed to do with a high-level skeleton athlete out of the mix?
I don't think he was a big, heavy bet sport. But I don't go devil's advocate. They don't have social media over there for what happens. So your only platform is TV. So if you want to show some of your respect on your helmet, that's the only way people are going to see it, because there's no social media over there.
So what you're saying is this guy miscalculated everything, is basically what we're saying. Well, I don't even know his name. So whatever impact he thought he was going to make, it ain't happening, bro. It ain't happening. All right, gentlemen, we got a lot of topics to talk about. So we're going to dive in. We are back live with a little front page news in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. I am the coach. This is Coaching Company. 2 hours of domination here on the Stadium Network. Do not forget, coming up at the top of the hour, JD of New York sitting in today for Vince Russo on the Coach and Bro Show. But, gentlemen, we have a lot of sports topics to dive into right here and right now. And I got to be honest with you. I didn't think there was a lot of juice heading into the Super Bowl. The game sucked for about 3 quarters, and then things picked up in the fourth quarter. You fast forward, Sam Darnold and Kenneth Walker together. They went to Disneyland. They were together all over the place. They admitted they didn't even turn up. They didn't even go to the post party, DG, with Ludacris and T-Pain. And then yesterday, the parade, that was kind of, My question is this, and we're going to go DG right down the line. Is this the most boring team in the history of the NFL?
Yes. And unfortunately for these dudes, they are Super Bowl champions. And maybe that's why they were locked in throughout the entire playoffs, because they are boring. They don't go hang out with their friends and they don't do anything fun. And so, yes, you can ride the little teacups at Disneyland if you want there, Sam Darnold. But yes, you're boring.
Of course they're boring. It's the most boring team we've seen in a long time. They don't have that guy with the storyline, or they don't have that guy with the swagger. They got Sam Darnold, and Kenneth Walker had a sensational season, but you know what? The Super Bowl was not very exciting. He didn't even get in the end zone. His touchdown got called back. The biggest game of the season for them was that championship game against the Rams. That's what their Super Bowl was. So if that would have been the Super Bowl, I think people would be a little more excited than what they're at right now.
The sad part is I didn't even know the parade was yesterday. You didn't hear anything about it. And then the mayor comes out and says no kids can skip school to go to the parade. What are we doing? Celebrate that your team won a Super Bowl, Mayor.
What are we doing? Are you kidding me right now? Hell, I let my son out of school. Oh, no, they might be watching right now. All right, topic number 2. And this one's a little crazy to me. Tom Brady, who's a part owner in the Las Vegas Raiders. It has been widely known that he almost by himself handpicked new head coach Clint Kubiak, depending on where you live. He had to wait until the Super Bowl because he was coaching the Seahawks. So yesterday, they had their last 48 hours, like introducing, getting people together, the press conferences. You would think that the owner would be there. But Kubiak says, listen, he shouldn't have given me his cell phone number. I'm going to be calling him all the time. He went a step further, and he said, Tom Brady is a big reason why I came here to coach in the first place. DG, is it disrespectful of Tom Brady to hang out with Logan Paul and all of these podcasters instead of showing up for his own team?
Tom Brady is minority owner. He's not the majority here. But when I look at this, Tom's got better things to do, Coach. He's hanging out with Alex Earl right now. And at that point, I'm picking Alex Earl over Clint Kubiak any day.
Yeah, I won't be mentioning Alex Earl in any of my takes on this show, but I mean, really, I just think he doesn't care. I think he has 80 things going on that really, like DG says, he's the minority owner. I don't think he cares as much as we think. So I think that's the reason he didn't show up.
I heard that his contract with TV says he's not allowed to do certain things. So maybe he wasn't allowed to go to this event to introduce the new head coach. I'm not saying that was right, but also, he probably wasn't getting any money to go to this event. So, he's all about money now these days.
There you go. He's all about the bag, Raphael. He's all about the check. Gentlemen, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with all three of you? He can't go to a press conference. Hell, he could get a press credential and act like he's there to cover it for Fox since he's the lead voice of that. This is utterly ridiculous, but you're right. He's getting paid ridiculous sums of money to play flag football, to get into a little tete-a-tete with Logan Paul. By the way, Logan Paul's going to be at that flag football thing next month. Did you guys hear the number that Brady's getting?
No.
$75 million for 1 week. Wow. 1 week, $75 million. Everybody wonders why they go over to Saudi Arabia to play anything. Please. Gentlemen, this next story, you don't see this very often. You've heard my stories years ago. Steelers win the Super Bowl. I hung out with the team the day they got their rings. We happened to have Monday Night Raw in Pittsburgh. It was a lot of fun. Well, Joey Porter, a legendary defensive player for the Steelers, was on a podcast this week, and he came out and was very blunt and said that Big Ben, who will be a Hall of Fame quarterback, might already be in. I don't know. We don't even know who they're voting in these days. But he said, not a good teammate and a bad person. He also said that he went way over the line in criticizing their own team and Mike Tomlin and all that kind of stuff at the end of the season. DG, are you surprised to hear this from Joey Porter of all people?
Yeah, I was surprised to hear it from Joey because I don't know much about Big Ben other than his play on the field. And so to call him a bad teammate, a bad person, the bad person part stuck with me the most. But if I look at this, I can see where football, honestly, any sports where there is one player, especially the QB on the offensive side, doesn't necessarily see eye to eye with the defensive, I guess, vet, but also the QB on the defensive side. And so I could see that being a separation of those two. But in the end of the day, you don't call somebody a bad person unless you actually mean it.
Yeah, I agree with the whole offense and defense thing, but when you look at it, a teammate's a teammate, and calling one a bad person is a really different level. Something personal had to have happened there, but you know what? I'm a Ravens guy. I don't like Big Ben very much either. I mean, really, he played the Ravens 29 times. He was 18-11 against us, beat us up like crazy, but you know what? He was sacked the most against the Ravens than any other quarterback was against any other team. So I like seeing him get beat up a little bit.
This doesn't shock me because remember his legal issues a couple years ago. The teammates came out and said, hey, we don't like him. So this was all out earlier. So maybe the bad person is what he's talking about, his legal issues back then.
That was a minute ago. That was like, 20 years ago? Something like that. True story. We were at a house show. It was a Sunday afternoon. You guys can go back and look this up and then put these two pieces together. One of the most intense moments of my WWE career. I'm sitting right next to John Cena. It's like a 5 o'clock game, and it's the AFC playoffs, and they're playing in Indianapolis against the Colts. They got it down to the 3. They're going in for a game-clinching touchdown. So, like I said, we just met Big Ben. We had his cell phone number. Cena says to me, hey, call him. Congratulate him. So at the commercial break, as they're at the 3-yard line, I call Big Ben. Hey, congratulations, man. You're moving on. This is awesome. And I pass the phone around. John Cena next, Kane, all these other WWE superstars. As I grab the phone, close it, they come back from commercial break. Jerome Bettis, the bus. What happens? Do you remember this, Raphael? What happened?
They didn't score, and that phone call was wasted.
Fumble! Fumble! And all of a sudden, a dude from the Colts is running back the other way. We're watching in horror, absolute horror, because the only person between that defender with the ball and the end zone, you guessed it, Big Ben Roethlisberger. And for some reason, he was able to reach out and grab an ankle and bring him down to like the 40. So then we had to decide, do you call back and apologize, or do you let it play out? I looked at John Cena. He looked at me. Let's let it play out. They drive down the field. They get down to like the 15. We are squirming. I mean, squirming. It was clear that his phone was off because, it went right to voicemail. So he wouldn't have known when we called. He just would have known that we called. And thank God they ended up stopping them on 4th down. They win the game. So it sounded like we called when the game was over. But I'm telling you right now, boys, I was terrified. You never want a Super Bowl winning quarterback to be on his bad side when you know the parties that are going to be happening when you get to town. Yes, Raphael.
I was at MGM at that time, and that was 75-1 if that defense would have ran that back for a touchdown. So we're all screaming, no, fall down, fall down.
It was incredible. I love how everybody has different stories of these things. By the way, I think I told you that the following year when they won the Super Bowl, we were in Pittsburgh, and they had a party at Heinz Ward's bar. But you had to be, how do I put this, of a certain standard to get into said party. So I borrowed the Super Bowl ring from Max Starks. He was a offensive lineman, and I claimed to be the the third string tight end for the night, wearing the Super Bowl ring.
That's a nice.
I'll let you guys decide how that night went. Thank you. Thank you. All right, one last quick topic. The Daytona 500. And I was looking through all these different topics. Kyle Busch, 0 for 20. He's never won it. He's too expensive. He's been all over the place. He is on the pole. But I've never understood, DG, why NASCAR puts their biggest event right out of the blocks. It'd be like the Super Bowl being played in August and then playing the season backwards. Does it even make sense at this point to do the Daytona 500 in February?
I love that they do this first. And honestly, the reason that the Daytona 500 is got the lore that it has is because it is first, and they make so much pomp and circumstance about this. Like, it is a big deal. I love everything about this because it's a celebration, and that's what I see with the Daytona 500.
I don't get it for the drivers, but for us, this will give us an early signal about who's actually taken a step forward or backward since last year, and we can see this early. And if this is all the racing we'll have to go off of for now, even a small signal, right, can be worth paying attention to. So I like for us that we can actually see this early on, but for them, I think it stinks.
I have a little inside info. The reason why they do this because it's President's Day, and if it gets canceled on a rain day, they can still race it on a Monday when everyone is still off to go to the race. Except next year, so the Super Bowl is February 14th, and they had to move back Daytona 500 off of President's Day.
Well, why is the Super Bowl February 14th? Are we serious right now? It going, college playoff January 25th. What are we doing? All right, gentlemen, today we're talking about effort for everybody. Effort in today's society is something that nobody talks about. And last night, we had 2 different sound bites that we absolutely have to talk about in college and also in the NBA. We're only halfway home. This is Coach and Company live, as always, right here on Stadium. All right, boys, this one might be something we've never seen before. Nottingham Forest, who is in the EPL, the English Premier League, they have gotten rid of their head coach. So why is this a story? Because this is the third head coach this season to get the boot. DG, make this make sense.
Wow. I had no idea about this. This is awesome to me. You know what? If you don't perform, get out. And that's kind of how I feel. I love this, that they're actually standing on business. We'll use that again today because you know what? If you suck, get out of here. We'll find somebody that will.
Peyton.
I like that they're actually, still thinking that the season is still alive if you just make changes, right? If you're so terrible, a lot of teams in sports just accept defeat for a season and say, all right, we're just going to tank, right? And then we'll fire our coach. No, they're like, you know what? New coach, let's start winning now. I like it.
Maybe the Chicago White Sox should look at this because that's what they need to fire their head coach, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Because I was thinking of a U.S. sport that could do this, that we would all agree, and the White Sox came in my head.
You're probably right, Raphael. You're probably right. But this is, I don't even know if, I always laugh when people say, oh, that's not a good NFL job or that's not a good NBA job. I'm like, you're going to get 4 or 5 guaranteed years. But this is crazy. I bet Nottingham Forest doesn't even give 2 years guaranteed. If you're walking, would you even take this job?
Yes.
You would take it, DG.
It's money. Why would I not take it? Unless I got something else better to do. Yeah, pay me. Fire me. It's cool. I'll move on.
I remember Flip Saunders kind of said the same thing. When he got fired by the Wizards all those years ago, what a great guy this was. Won a bunch of games in the NBA, and he came to ESPN after getting fired. He was owed $4 million. He could not stand staying in his hotel room. Rest his soul. And so we used to go out, and he was like, I will buy if you just come out and hang out with me. So we'd go to Morton's, Fleming's, all those places in West Hartford, and he would come and he'd pay for it. And we were more than happy to let him pay for it. But the stories he had were absolutely incredible. And then his son took over later for him. We're back live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. 2 hours of domination today here on the Stadium Network. We have just crossed the bottom of the hour. If you're watching us live, it's 10:32 in the East, 7:32 in the West. One of the things that we run into, by the way, don't forget Coach and Bro, top of the hour, here at the show, which is kind of why we've kind of moved away. I would say we're even less than 50-50 at this point on doing betting and leaning more into sports, just in general. Part of the reason for that is it's very, very, very hard right now to bet on the NBA. College is a little bit easier because these athletes don't understand what it means to actually give effort. It's all about the money. It's all about the paycheck. And that also is the case in college with NIL, which brings us to last night. Now, many of you know I played high school in Kansas and college basketball in Kansas. My point guard, when I was in high school, he went to Kansas State. His older brother, Steve Henson, played at Kansas State and then played in the NBA. So I have a lot of ties to that university going all the way back. They lose by 29 last night to Cincinnati in their house. And their head coach, Jerome Tang, afterwards, he did something that you never, ever, ever see. And that is a head coach, what does DG say? Standing on business. Roll it.
Hey, I'm gonna honor Christ like I always do. Blessed to do this, but this was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. You know, it is just ridiculous. We got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer, no words. So y'all got 2 questions. So whoever want to ask 2 questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability right now. But right now, I'm pissed.
Oh, he would go on to elaborate. DG, I got to start with you because you never see a head coach do this because they're so terrified of their players who they're paying and all this kind of stuff. And normally the players have the swag. he doesn't give a damn. How refreshing to have a coach do this last night.
Man, this is awesome because what we see is a coach that says, like, hey, this is my team. We're going to do it my way, and we're going to give effort. And that wasn't happening in this Kansas State team. And now that's why they're on a 5-game losing streak. But as a former player, to hear your coach come out and say, 6 a.m. practice, coach, that practice is a puke fest because there is going to be zero chance you're leaving without puking.
It took me back because that happened to me in college. The first practice back after Christmas break was always trash cans at the end of my coach didn't even try to hide it. But he wasn't pissed at us. He just wanted to get us back in shape. Peyton, you are literally in college right now. And these college kids, because they bounce around all the time, there's no loyalty, but also their attitudes suck. How do you think the team responded when they saw this sound?
I don't know. It was probably pretty rough. And you know what? We had a similar thing as well when we had a bad game 2 years ago, and we ended up running a 60 and 60 or 60 suicides in 60 minutes. And we had it at 60 or 6 in the morning. And well, I won't tell you how it goes, but I'll tell you that I'm at TCU now. So, I mean, that's kind of tells you how that went, I guess. But yeah, they're 1-10 in conference, guys. And Big 12 is a really tough conference. We get it. But, I mean, that coach just sounds depressed. And I don't even know if he's going to run that team tomorrow because he just seems really depressed about it. When do you hear a coach more depressed about 6 a.m. practice than the players?
The other part of this that really kind of stuck out to me was when he said very few, Raphael, will be wearing this uniform next year. Now, if this would have been 10 or 15 years ago, I'd been like, because used to be very hard to transfer. You used to have to sit out for a full year. Now, you guys are going all over the place. But it doesn't take away from the fact that basically he's saying of the 15 guys that are wearing the uniform in there, maybe 3 or 4. If I'm one of those players, you're not thinking I'm not playing here because I'm getting kicked out. You're saying I either stay or I'm leaving on my own accord. That's not what this is.
Yeah, that's what caught my eye when he said very few. Because if you watch the game like I did, there's not that many people that I would want on my team. The 8th guy that came on the bench, I don't know his name, was the only one that was playing defense. They were lagging on fast breaks. They couldn't cover a pick and roll to save their life. That 6 a.m. practice, there's going to be no basketballs on the court. There's just going to be all running.
Well, gentlemen, that's 6 a.m. Do you guys know what time? Do you even know how time works? It is now 9:37 in Manhattan. They've already had the practice. So let's talk in past tense. They're still running. They're still running. All right, speaking of effort, we've got issues in the NBA. All-Star Weekend is here, and the All-Star Game has turned into a worse joke than the NFL Pro Bowl, which is flag. And Kevin Durant last night after his game with the Rockets, he didn't mince any words about a couple of All-Stars and future Hall of Famers just not giving a damn. Cut number 2.
You should ask the Europeans and the world team if they want to compete. Because if you look at Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic now, let's go. If you look at Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic now, let's go back and look at what they do at the All-Star game. Is that competition? So we haven't questioned what they've been doing, but we're going to question the old heads. And Jokic, they don't care about the game at all. These dudes be laying on the floor, they shoot from half court, but you got to worry about the old heads playing hard. I can read between the lines, bro.
All right. So basically, I know it's a little bit hard to hear there, but basically he's saying Luka and Jokic don't give a damn like the rest of the NBA in a game that now is like 168 to 162. It's an absolute joke. You got better games at UCLA in the summer. But DG, Wemby came out last night after they had a nice little comeback to win their game, and he was like, I'm going to play hard. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm taking it serious. Maybe some of these young cats could teach some of the old heads, as KD calls themselves, a little something.
Yeah, what we're seeing now is potentially we could have a changing of the guard because it is the older crew that's going out, plus these Europeans. And it's about the country, the nation that's on your chest. I know it says world, but it is about who you're representing because you're representing where you're from, your hometown, right? And so at this point, there could be more pride in this. We do see, honestly, Luka and Jokic don't care much, but maybe something flips this year. It hasn't happened for a long time in the NBA in this All-Star game. to have effort on defense and to show some pride. Maybe this is the flip because KD standing on business is what I like to see there.
My bingo card. 5 mentions of, check mark.
Bingo.
It's so fascinating that what this, Peyton, this weekend has turned into. When I was your age, Peyton, you looked forward to this weekend. This was the weekend that you had Dominique and Michael. You had Spud Webb. You had Larry Bird with the one finger in the air before the ball even went through the hoop. That was All-Star weekend. And then when you got to the All-Star game, these players laced it up, cinched it tight, and went and played. And now for whatever reason, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to – you're going to get hurt for lack – it's kind of like in wrestling, that if you go half speed, you're more apt to get hurt than if you go full speed. And this is absolute nonsense. And Kevin Durant, I don't even believe anything he says anymore. That's how much he's lost with me. Your take?
I'm actually excited for this weekend because you got Damian. It starts on Saturday night for me too. You got Dame Lillard coming off in the middle of his Achilles injury, is banging threes in the 3-point contest. That'll be kind of fun. But this All-Star game should actually be a little more competitive than the ones we've seen in the past. We got team stars against team stripes, team stars, All-Stars who are a lot younger, probably some hungry guys in there who want to make a bigger, even bigger name for themselves, and team stripes, guys in the league who have earned their stripes, the LeBrons and KDs. I think they're going to accept the challenge against Team World. I think they're going to make it fun this year. I'm actually excited.
But there's still 3 teams, Peyton. This is not a game when you have 3 teams out there. It's not, hey, make it, take it. It's not, hey, we got next. Is it?
But it's based off of point differential. So if all 3 of those teams go 1-1, every point matters. I'm excited. I think these guys are going to be playing until the last basket.
Even though it still doesn't make sense, I'm going to take your attitude. And I'm going to be positive about it too. Raphael, how the hell do we bet this thing?
You don't just bet over everything you have, just bet the over. But I'm excited because this is when Wemby takes over as a number 1 guy in the league. We saw it last night when everyone think, he should sit out back-to-back games. He balled last night. This is when Wemby says, hey, you know what, LeBron, KD, Curry, you can leave. This is my league now.
This is nonsense. Young players, when you're 21 or 22, did not need to be sitting out back-to-back games. The fact that it's a narrative and we're surprised when a star does that shows how far we have absolutely fallen. Now, on tomorrow's show, and I know, DG, you won't be on tomorrow's show, I saw, what's his name from the Fox show? Basically, he was on with Bill Simmons. And I thought it's a fascinating topic, and I want to tackle it tomorrow, that basically they should do all white players against all black players, and that'd be a hell of a game. And I thought at first, are there any white dudes in the? And then when they listed them, we're like, oh shit, this could be a game. So we're gonna tackle what that would look like tomorrow. Because at first you read the headline, you're like, this is nonsense. But DG, maybe, I mean, they would get crushed if they did that, but the rest of us would like it, right?
Us white boys would like to claim our friends, the Europeans, as white as well, and we would be okay with that. But at this point, we would like to present to you a 3-point shooting contest over playing a 1-on-1 game.
I mean, you'd have Luka, Jokic, Austin Reeves, just to name 3.
Cooper Flag?
What?
Cooper Flag?
Yeah, we still want to shoot 3-pointers. We still want to do that.
Okay. Peyton, 15 seconds. Would you do this?
Of course. I actually, Raph, though, I will say I think the biggest diss about the All-Star weekend this weekend is that Cooper Flag won't be in there for the Rising Stars. Yeah. I think that's really big.
Yeah, he's going to be out. Rising Stars, he's going to be out of the game. He's out tonight against the Lakers as well. Star power matters. The NBA right now, I mean, it's so fascinating how Adam Silver 2 years ago was the best commissioner in sports, and now the league is an absolute disaster. An absolute disaster. And the players don't care because they're all making, at least the stars, $40, $50, $60 million a year. All right, gentlemen, coming up on the other side, should the NBA do away with a rule that they just made? We'll talk about it. This is Coach and Company live right here Thursday on Stadium. All right, guys, speaking of the All-Star game, this might be the final time that we ever see LeBron, Steph, and KD, and there's a couple other, but those are like the three legendary Hall of Fame names together at the All-Star game. DG, do you think this will be the final time?
Yeah, I was disappointed to see that Steph Curry won't be playing due to injury, but the fact that they're all still there, it does kind of take a step back and say, the appreciation of what they've done for this game. And I know everybody wants to be on LeBron. I think Steph Curry has done more for the game in general than LeBron ever has. And so I have more respect for Steph Curry, even though he won't be suiting him up this game.
You could argue that he might be a bigger star than LeBron James. You could make that argument. Peyton, do you think this will be the last time that all of these names are at the All-Star game together?
I think we might get one more, but I mean, we could definitely argue Steph's changed basketball, right? I mean, everyone's shooting either threes or layups now. There's like no in between. So, I mean, just going from watching All-Star, or at least growing up, to Steph, KD, and even Damian Lillard making All-Star games really exciting, shooting from half court. I know he's not in their conversation star level wise, but he used to make those All-Star games complete shows, and having him out, and then this could be the last time we see these three. It's kind of a realization moment for me.
It is kind of, isn't it kind of a bad look though, guys, for Damian Lillard to participate?
Yes.
Yes. It's a huge difference in playing in a game, but it's still, Raphael, it's a bad look. It just is, isn't it?
It's a horrible look, but we'll take a lot of tickets written on him to win a 3-point contest. I can guarantee you on that. But I think they play one more All-Star game. I think LeBron has one more. His goodbye All-Star appearance, we'll see one more. But I'm excited for the young stars. I think this is we're finally seeing the end of the tunnel with young attitude coming in with Wemby, Austin Reeves, Cooper Flag. I'm excited for the upcoming NBA.
Just go away, LeBron. It's done.
Well, Wendy was on, I think, the Rich Eisen show yesterday. He's filling in for Pat McAfee this week. He said there's no way the Lakers can pay him $50 million next year. So LeBron will go to a bad team. They'll pay him $50 million because that's what he does. We're back live in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. Coach and Company here live on the Stadium Network. One more night, just a few games on the slate tonight. Then all of the All-Stars will make their way to All-Star Weekend. But there's a big topic, gentlemen, that is now kind of glaring. And I don't think it's necessarily the NBA's fault, but to circumvent the whole tanking, sitting players, load management, all of that, they instituted that to be qualified for any of these postseason awards, you got to play at least 65 games. Well, LeBron James just missed his 18th game, so he is no longer eligible for any of them. Now, most of these guys, DG, have incentives, but $250,000 for a guy making $50 million doesn't hurt him that much. But the All NBA teams this year, they could look like a G League team, because there's a lot of big names that just simply, for whatever reason, will not qualify because they won't play 65 games. Should they get rid of this rule?
I think the rule is in place to prevent them from sitting out of games. And so if you can circumvent this, I think there's a way to doing it. Maybe dropping it to 60 is a better number. But the problem is these guys are taking advantage, and it's on them, their own selves, for doing this. But the same thing with Wemby, who had an injury. If he misses, I think it's 3 or 4 more games, he would fall under that threshold, and he would be ineligible for the Defensive Player of the Year and All NBA and all these awards. And so, yes, I think the injury, like a legit injury, should be included somewhere in there somehow. Besides that, the resting has to stop.
Didn't that happen to him last year? He was going to be the Defensive Player of the Year. It would be hard, though, because every player that sits out puts an injury in there. They don't want to be called liars, or they also don't want to admit they're not hurt. So how do you do that? By saying, well, this one's real and this one's not. It's a difficult thing, huh, Peyton?
Yeah, there's a ton of nagging injuries, obviously, throughout the season, as we know. But, I mean, these guys don't deserve awards if they're not going to play. It's just as simple as that. And you're saying 65 games need to be played. That's 80% of the season. That's a lot of basketball, but you know what? You got to play the whole season if you're going to be MVP. I mean, seriously, if you start the season out maybe and you bring your team back the second half of the way and get them to make the playoffs, maybe you deserve a little something there, but you have to play if you're going to win an award.
What did MJ say? He never even thought about it. He's like, there's always one person who's not seen me play before that's coming to the game tonight. And that's a great mentality. That's how I think every single day. There's always somebody who hasn't watched Coaching Company. We have to give them our best. But Raphael, last year, a lot of tickets were shredded on Wemby future tickets to win the Defensive Player of the Year. So from a betting perspective, this is a really big deal as well.
That's the case when you bet futures. I mean, there's always something. What if your quarterback gets hurt? If you're betting in NFL, it's pretty much the same thing. But nagging injuries and broken bones are two different. I think DG said it correctly. You need to have something where you can say, you know what, if this guy broke an arm or tore Achilles or something, he's still around. But if nagging injuries, give me a break.
So you're saying that if they have a broken bone, then that counts. But if it's just a high ankle sprain, which is worse than a broken
high
bone.
Ankle sprain. No, that's a big injury. I'm just saying, knee soreness or back spasms. Give me a break.
What if they introduce like an injury list, like just like baseball has, like you have the whatever the IL is. If there was in basketball, if you were having to miss at least I'd say 5 games or whatever it was, that would not be taken into consideration, and it's all about a percentage of the games that are able to play. That's kind of what I would look at.
Anytime I start hearing the word percentage, I'm like, man, we're already down a deep rabbit hole here. We're down a deep rabbit hole here. All right, gentlemen, technically, we have not had a losing day this week from a records perspective. Love you. I'll talk to you later. However, we were 3-3 yesterday. Is my son. We got to play golf later. But it wasn't a winning day. But I'm going to give it to the good people at home. And if we can have 4 straight winning days today, we'll rip out the old coach and brolette wheel on tomorrow's show. So it is time. Let's lock it in. All right, 10 seconds or less. Just 1 or 2 nuggets is all that I need. DG, start us off.
Yeah, let's start with Portland State Vikings -7.5. It's at -110. I'm looking on the offensive rebounds for Portland State. They're going to dominate the boards and win this by 8 or more. And then the Memphis Tigers money line at -115, taking on North Texas. Their defense is going to hold North Texas down. Memphis wins this game -115.
All right, young Peyton, talk to me.
We got the Charleston Cougars by 2 tonight at home against Hofstra, who they've already handled on the road. Tonight they're at home and in Charleston. And the Thunder are going to completely blow out the Bucks tonight. I got the Thunder -12.5 because Milwaukee is simply trying to lose.
Trying to lose and trying to get rid of Giannis somehow. Raphael, 1 play. Let's go.
We're going to Flagstaff, Arizona, because Portland State travels to face the Lumberjacks, but we're taking the over 134.5 because of the Lumberjacks defense that absolutely sucks. Last 10 meetings between these two teams, 7 have gone over the total.
All right, and these 3, well, I've got 4 plays, but the tee times start very, very soon, so I encourage you to get these in right now. Out of Pebble Beach, this is a signature event. Limited field, the Pro-Am's only on Thursday and Friday, so it's a lot different than the way that it used to be. So 3 round 1 plays. Ben Griffin, he's on a leaderboard day 1 almost every single week. You can give me plus money over Siwoo Kim. I will take it. Robert McIntyre, this weather is what he loves, being from Europe. I like him. The number is great over Xander, who just hasn't played good golf for a couple of years. Then Matthew Fitzpatrick. Last week, he was tied for the first round lead until the final 2 holes. He was 8 under through 16. I think he gets off to another good start, but this is also about fading Colin Morikawa, who's just been terrible the last couple of years. So I love these 3 plays. Then give me a top 5 finish. Justin Rose, plus 742. The reason the number is so high is he's 45 years old. There's not a lot of 40-some-year-olds on the PGA Tour. This guy's a unicorn. He won in San Diego just 3 weeks ago. I think he's going to have another great week this week. All right, Raphael, my guy, make us all a little bit smarter.
We're going out west in college basketball. The UC Irvine Anteaters are 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games against teams with losing records.
All right. By the way, I'm getting challenged by the chat queen. She doesn't think Justin Rose is going to have a top 5. What are we doing? She wants a coach's challenge against the coach.
Love it.
That's smart. You're just like a plus 8-7, whatever it is.
Plus 742.
Yeah, I would challenge that too because the odds are in her favor.
Clearly, none of you have watched golf this year, which is why you have me. The odds are in her favor. All right, Kimberly, here's what we're going to do.
Wow.
If Justin Rose, but it is very lopsided, you're right, DG. All right, I'm going to say that I'll give you personally a free piece of new merch. In fact, we got a new shirt coming out, Raphael, don't we, with Big Tommy C for Gazy. So, Kimberly, I'm going to give you a brand new Big Tommy C shirt if Justin Rose doesn't finish inside. I'm going to say the top 10. I'm going to say the top 10. I think that's fair. That's fair. So, top 10, you get it, but he's going to second or third, I think. All right, gentlemen, we're only halfway home. Great job today. Peyton, any games this week for you?
On Sunday night, we have TCU against Iowa State, and Audie Crooks is coming to town. Let's go.
Let's go. What about the radio show? Do we have any radio shows this week?
Oh, yeah. You got Peyton's Place tonight on 88.7 The Choice, your choice for college radio here in Dallas-Fort Worth. We got that at 8 o'clock Central Time. So tune in. We got a lot to talk about.
KTCU. I'll be retweeting that on my page if you guys want to listen to Peyton. All right, DG, good luck today on the weekday wagers as well. But I need my one shot now because we're only halfway home. And I got to tell you this, there's only one thing left to do. I feel really good about today. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window for my entire team. Love them all. My man, Raphael, DG, young Peyton, and producer man always behind the scenes making the show look like $1,000,000. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about every single day. Coach and Bro, top of the hour. This is Coach and Company live on Stadium. Have a great day.